Well, hi there, everybody. It's Dr. Steve here with Kineci, and this is your Understanding Your Pain. Here we are talking about the Achilles tendinitis, and this is part 3. In part 1, we went into a bit more of the education piece, understanding your pain. We talked about some of the signs and symptoms. We talked about the kinetic chain. We talked a little bit about that eccentric lengthening kind of concept. And so we're following along in part 1. We did some reaches to get some lengthening going through those tissues. In part 2, we did a hip flexor and Achilles calf stretch to get everything moving. And we have been sticking with the pattern of going with toes pointed forward, toes turned in, and toes turned out. We're going to do that same thing now with a posterior lunge. So this is going to be taking things just a little bit more dynamic than the stretches we were doing, but where we're actually going into a backward step or a posterior lunge. Again, helpful but not crucial to have something to hang on to for just a little bit of balance. But we want to do a big step back where you're landing with the toes and really stretching that heel down. So here you'll see that the position that I end up in is very similar to the hip flexor stretch if my foot was up onto a chair, this front foot, or we were kind of talking about where you don't have to have your foot elevated. But for this one, we want to really land with the toes, stretch that heel all the way down, and then let yourself roll back up through the toes. And so that toe landing and then stretching the heel down, that's the eccentric lengthening through that Achilles tendon. And so we do a bunch, everything pointed forward. We're going to do toes turned out. Same kind of deal. The toes land, the heel lowers all the way down, and then roll back up through the foot with the toe turned out. And then we're going to do the toes turned in. So same deal, landing on the toes, lowering down the heel, and then lifting the heel up, rolling up through the foot to come back up. So if I give you the back view so you can see the angle, the first one is where you're doing a straight step back, landing on the toes, lowering the heel, coming back up. And then we did the toes out version. And then we did the toes in version. So those are a couple of ways to get yourself moving and start on the path of feeling better, functioning better if your Achilles tendon is bothering you. So don't sit and suffer. Come on in if you need help. Let us figure out a plan and get you moving forward, feeling better and functioning better. And be sure to stay tuned and keep moving, everybody. Until next time, bye-bye.